Okay, so we're going live with a screen share. I hope I just didn't kill. I think I'm on, and you're looking at my screen. Okay. So the question was posed to me, and I never thought I'd answer it, which is, what are the different styles of homes? So this was prompted by a video that I did recently, explaining that in most of the country, the style doesn't really matter because you're going to use a price per square foot. So if you find comparable sales, comps, similar to a subject property, and I hope this is catching it. I don't know. I think it's sharing. Then it doesn't really matter what style it is. You figure a per square foot number. So if the comps are all at 400,000 and they're 2,000 square feet, it's $200 a square foot, and you can basically figure that in for your subject. In New York, certain parts of New York have no idea what the square footage is. Therefore, I think it's going back and forth. Therefore, you need to have a similar style with similar bedrooms and bathrooms. So there's really 5 or 6 styles of homes in Long Island that cover 96% of all the properties. So let's go through them. The first one is a ranch. So ranch is really a simple thing, is that it's any property where everything's on one level. Okay, so this is like a typical ranch. That's actually a nice ranch. Something like some ranches are nice and others. Some ranches are tremendous, right? But this is a ranch that you might see, right? So sometimes they have a roof line. They probably have an attic up there. But if everything's on one level, that's a ranch. So that's a small ranch. These are ranches. Now you're going to see something called an expanded ranch or farm ranch. I don't want to get into that. Those are different qualifications. They do come up occasionally. I'm not dealing with those. So first of all, it's a ranch. Sometimes a ranch has a basement. Here you can see it has a basement. Sometimes it doesn't, right? If it's a ranch in Levittown, probably doesn't have a basement. But a ranch is everything on one level. Okay. The next thing we see a lot of are capes, right? Or Cape Cods. So let's look at what a typical cape. This is a pretty typical cape. So this is a wide line cape. A cape is, it's a cape because it's usually got 2 bedrooms on the bottom and 2 bedrooms on top. Now, occasionally, it'll be a 3-bedroom cape where it's got 2 on top and 1 on the bottom if it's really small. Let me get some more comp. So this is a wide line cape. There's also an inline cape. I'm looking for a picture of that. But these are typical capes. This is also a wide line cape. And basically the roof line is the inside ceiling line of the upper rooms, usually. I'm looking for an inline cape and I don't see any. But again, typical cape has half the bedrooms on the first floor, half the bedrooms on the second floor. There could be a bathroom on the second floor. Sometimes there isn't a bathroom on the second floor. Why can't I find an inline cape? I see them all the time. Let me see if I can search for that. Now you might see an expanded cape. That can mean a lot of things, right? An expanded cape can mean it's a regular cape that has an extra bedroom behind it. It also can mean they blew it out and turned it into a colonial, which we'll get to soon. Inline cape house. Yeah, so these are the inline capes. That's not an inline cape. It's amazing how they don't even know it. Well, I guess they don't have a lot of pictures. So this is sort of an inline cape where it's narrow in the front and wider, narrower. The wide line capes we've been dealing with are wider. So you walk in and there's typical cape. There's living space on the left, so a living room, dining area, and a kitchen. And on the right, sometimes in front of the staircase, sometimes in back, 2 bedrooms there. Some people like wide line capes better than inline capes, whatever the hell the difference is. But basically, that's a cape. So again, no attic, right? It's all going to be 2 bedrooms on top, usually 2 bedrooms on the bottom. Again, sometimes it's less, but those are basic capes. There's a lot of capes in Long Island. Capes, I think, were seen as the cheapest thing to build because they use all the space. The roof line, becomes the interior of the second floor. So there's no attic, there's no additional space. But that's basically it. So those are the characteristics of a cape. Now, there are other types of houses that have a bedroom on the first floor, but we'll get into the next thing. So the next thing you're going to see is high ranches, sometimes called raised ranches. So typical raised ranches, you're going to go upstairs to get in. There's really two floors that are almost identical in size. So this is an inline high ranch, right? It's narrow and deep, and then there's a wide line high ranch. Okay. Sometimes there is garages on the wide line. Sometimes there isn't. This is a typical high ranch. Again, you got to go up, and very often they're set up as mother-daughters. So they're going to be they're set up as, the upstairs. You go up, and there's a separate entrance to the downstairs, and they're set up as almost two units. Very common, very, very common. Very common to find high ranches where they're renting out the basement as a separate unit, and there's an illegal kitchen in there. Sometimes it's legal if it's a mother-daughter, but these are very common. These are high ranches. You see them all over the place. Let me just see what we're up to. Okay, next is a colonial. So colonial is typical. Colonial really just means that all the bedrooms are on the upper floor. There can be a guest room on the first floor in the colonial, but most mansions are colonials, right? Really nice houses are colonials, right? And there could be small colonials too, right? This is a smaller colonial, although it looks pretty big. A lot of the pictures here are bigger houses. Pretty much anything that has all the bedrooms on the second floor together, usually with one bathroom or two bathrooms, a master and a kid's bathroom. Again, you can have a 12 bathroom colonial, but the ones that we see more typically, all the bedrooms are on the second floor, on the same floor, except maybe one that there's a guest room or something on the first floor. So these are all colonial homes. That's how I define a colonial. Anyway, colonials are most of the time seen as the best houses, because most of the time, if you would build a house from scratch, you'd build it as a colonial style with all the bedrooms on the second floor. Okay, what's next? So next is a split level. So we have a lot of split levels here. You can get confused with split level on a high ranch. Typical split level is this, where you come in on one level and then there's steps down and steps up. Tons of splits on Long Island. Some people don't like them because they don't like going up and down steps. There's a lot of little staircases in splits. Some people love splits. They feel like they got more space. They feel like there's more privacy. Like their bedroom will be up there, and then the kids will be down there, and that's okay. Some people don't like that. But typical split that you'll see is come in on level one, and then there's multi-levels next. Very common, very, very common that you'll see it. And people get confused with split and a high ranch. I see, but these are typical splits. Now, sometimes you'll see expanded splits where someone took a split and then builds on top of it. You see that a lot. So you'll see multi-splits. You'll see a split like this, and then you'll see someone added onto it. Very, very common also. I still consider it a split because you're coming in and there's steps down, steps up, a lot of steps all over the place. I've renovated a lot of splits. I've rehabbed a lot of splits. I've rehabbed all these types. I probably rehab more capes than anything, but splits are common. And then once in a while, you'll see something called a contemporary, which is like a brand new house, They call that a contemporary. It's almost certainly set up as a colonial, but something super nice. Contemporaries are usually if somebody's called a contemporary, it's usually very high end. You'll see some of those at very high end areas. But I would say between splits, colonials, high ranches, capes, and ranches, you covered 95 to 98% of the houses in my area. So I try to compare these properties to similar styles. Right, so I look for similar bedrooms and bathrooms. Obviously, I'm looking for close by, but that's what I'm looking for. So I hope this was helpful on some level. That's pretty much all I got on current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate. I don't know what the hell that means. So I hope this recorded. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, too low FPS. The current frame rate is too low. Please, I don't know what the hell that means. I hope this is working. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in finding out more about a study at home program I have that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. I have to change the name of that. And I have to change it by a new URL also. So I post 5 times a week. Please keep the comments coming. This came by request, so thank you very much for asking for it. And if you, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And that's it. Keep the comments coming because I don't always know what to say. Your comments give me topics, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very, very much.